Hello aspirants, welcome to Visham IAS Academy. Today's chapter is 9 Vital Villages and Thriving Towns. The basics are things made up of iron are part of our daily routine. We all know that the use of iron began in the subcontinent around 3000 years ago. Old tools and equipments of iron have been found at various places. Around 2500 years ago, there is evidence for the growing use of iron tools. These included axes for clearing forest and iron plowshare. So let's see about village life in southern India as well as in northern India. In southern India, there were at least three different kinds of people living in most villages in southern and northern parts of the subcontinent. In Tamil region, large landowners were known as Vellalar, ordinary ploughmen were known as Uravar, and landless laborers, including slaves, were known as Kadesiyar and Adimai. So, Vellalar, Uravar, and Kadesiyar and Adimai. These are about southern India. Next, in northern India, the village headman was known as the Grama Bojaka. Men from the same family held the position for generations, that is, hereditary. The Grama Bojaka was often the largest landowner. Generally, he had slaves and hired workers to cultivate the land. Besides, as he was powerful, the king often used him to collect taxes from the village. So there is a procedure of tax collection. He also functioned as judge and sometimes as a policeman. There were other independent farmers known as Grihapatis, most of whom were smaller landowners. There were men and women such as the Dasa Karmakara who did not own land and had to earn a living working on the fields owned by others. In most villages, there were also some craftspersons such as blacksmith, potter, carpenter, and weaver. So the northern India is finished. Next is cities. Many of the cities that developed from about 2500 years ago were capitals of Mahajanapadas. In many cities, archaeologists have found rows of pots or ceramic rings arranged one on top of the other. These are known as ring wells. These seem to have been used as toilets in some cases and as a drains and garbage dumps in others. These ring wells are usually found in individual houses. We have hardly any remains of palaces, markets, or of homes of ordinary people. Perhaps some are yet to be discovered by archaeologists. Others made of wood, mud brick, and thatch may not have survived. Another way of finding out about earlier cities is from the accounts of sailors and travelers who visited them. One of the most detailed accounts that have been found was by an unknown Greek sailor. He described all the ports he visited. Next is coins, which is very important. Archaeologists have found several thousands of coins belonging to this period. The earliest coins which were in use for about 500 years were punch marked coins, such as the one shown. They have been, it is not shown here because I picked up the important points from the book. They have been given this name because the designs were punched onto the metal, silver, or copper. If you Google punch mark coins, you will get the detailed image of the coin. So you can visit that. Next is city functions. These are short inscriptions recording gifts made by men and sometimes women to monasteries and shrines. These were made by kings and queens, officers, merchants, craftspersons who lived in the city. For instance, inscriptions from Madura mention goldsmiths, blacksmiths, weavers, basket makers, garland makers, perfumers. Crafts and craft persons. I'm sorry for the background noise. These include extremely fine pottery known as the northern black polished ware. It gets its name from the fact that it is generally found in the northern part of the subcontinent. It is usually black in color and has a fine sheen. There were famous centers such as Varanasi in the north and Madurai in the south. Both men and women worked in these centers. Many craftspersons and merchants now form associations known as Shrenis. These Shrenis of craftspersons provided training, procured raw material, and distributed the finished product. Then Shrenis of merchants organized the trade. Shrenis also served as banks which rich men and women deposited money. This was invested and part of the interest was returned or used to support religious institutions such as monasteries. Next chapter is 10th Traders, Kings and Pilgrims. We will see that in the next video. Thank you.